Now let's take a look at the cube root of a number. So we say the cube root of a number b is a solution of the equation x cubed is equal to b. So that means whenever we're trying to find the cube root of a number, we have to find a different number that we can multiply by itself 3 different times to get to whatever number we're taking the cube root of. And another thing is that for every number b, whether it's positive, negative, or 0, it has exactly one real cube root, and this is how we denote that cube root. So let's take a look at some examples. Our first example, we have the cube root of 8. Right? So for this, we need to basically find a solution to the equation x to the third power is equal to 8. So we need to think of a number that we can multiply by itself 3 times to get to 8, and that number would be 2. Right? 2 to the third power equals 8, and 2 times 2 times 2, that equals 8. So the cube root of 8 is equal to 2. And we can do a similar thing for the cube root of negative 27. Right? So we know that x cubed has to be equal to negative 27. And now we think, what number can we multiply by itself 3 times to get to negative 27? And if you think of it, it's negative 3, right? Negative 3 to the third power equals negative 27. Negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. That gives you that negative 27. So the cube root of negative 27 is negative 3. Now let's take a look at 2 kind of different examples. So for the first one, we have the cube root of 10 to the 6th power. So we can still set this up the same way. So we have x to the third is equal to 10 to the 6th. Now for this, we're going to have to use our laws of exponents. Right? Remember, when we raise a power to a power, we multiply those exponents together. So we have to think 10 to the what power? 10 to the what power times 3 will give us 10 to the 6th. Right? And if we think about it, 10 to the second power raised to the third power, well, now we can multiply these exponents together. 3 times 2, that gives us 10 to the 6th. Right? And if we expand it out, 10 squared times 10 squared times 10 squared, when we multiply bases, or the same base with exponents, we add those exponents together. So that just gives us 10 to the 6th. Now we're going to do the same thing for the cube root of a to the 9th power. Right? We know that some number to the third power has to give us a to the 9th. So we need to think what exponent of a, well, if we multiply it by 3, will give us this 9. All right, so basically what times 3 will give us 9? And think about it, well, that's 3, right? A to the third power, that cubed, we multiply our exponents together, 3 times 3, that gives us 9. And we can do the same thing, expand it out. A cubed times a cubed times a cubed. Now we're multiplying bases, the same base with exponents. So we add these exponents together. 3 plus 3 plus 3. Well, that also gives us a to the 9th.